Hello, my name is Veronica and welcome into the Learning Lab. And in today's lab, I do want you to remember to live well, laugh often, and love much. Because after all, that's what it's all about. Come on in and let's get started with the technique tip that I'd like to share with you today. Now, I know when you are mass producing and a lot of you do a lot of cards, you are probably doing something that I once did, but after wrecking 4 or 5 pieces of card, I decided that was not a good way to go and I needed to come up with something else. And I did. So let's say this is my card that I have that I've already cut to the size that I want. I put it in my scoring channel or wherever and I've scored my piece here. Most of us go ahead and fold that over, increase it, decorate it, and then we go back and try to move the flap over to stamp. And if you're like me, that flap has hit your hands more times than you'd like to remember. So here's my tip. Remember, if you score here, you want to fold the bump to the inside. So go ahead and score, flip it over, and now you want to stamp while your card is still flat. So ink up your stamp with whatever color choice of ink that you'd like. And I'm just lining this up with the edge of my paper. So if my head gets in the way, please forgive me. Have my feet where I want them, and I can sit them down and then press down on my greeting. This greeting is from a Recollections Christmas set. Got it in Michael's when they had everything 60% off, I think. And then you could use a 20% off coupon on top of that. I mean, does it get any better? No. Well, if it does, no one's told me about it yet. Now with this particular stamp, because I know how it works, my May would sometimes not stamp. And the loop on my L, I had a hard time with that. So when I press, I make sure that I want to press down on the loop on the L. The season comes down really hard and heavy, so I don't want to put a lot of pressure there. The thing about your stamps is you really do have to get to know them. And just to let you know that before I went to my card, I practiced with this particular stamp on the cardstock on which I wanted to use it quite a bit to make sure it was going to come out right for me almost every time. So there you go. And it is beautimous. I didn't have to worry about holding the other flap open while I stamp that. And especially if you're mass producing, I think this is going to be the best bet for you. Simply because the flap is already open for you, and when you wait until the end to stamp and you mess it up and you've already decorated the outside, it's ruined. So let's say I, for whatever reason, flubbed this one, and yeah, I did flub a few. All I need to do is flip it over and stamp it again on this side, on the opposite side, because then this will become my front. And by the time I layer it up like I did on this one and cover it, you won't even know something was stamped on the back side and that was misstamped, because the darkness there is going to cover it. I simply love this stamp because Jesus is the reason for the season. So may God fill your life with love, joy, and peace this holiday season. Merry Christmas from my heart to yours.